We're going to be thinking about when characters seem torn. Usually they're acting one way on the outside and a different way on the inside, and that's because um, sometimes they're being pulled in different directions. You can consider the ways the pressures of a place might be pulling them away from their inner compass. One way to do that is we can look at a specific scenario and think about what the character is feeling on the inside versus how what they're doing and saying on the outside and how those things might be conflicting. So let's reread a little section from The Fight by Adam Bagdasarian and then go through this chart. You guys are going to have to do the same work with your IR book. So let's look at a specific part of the story. I hear you want to fight me, he said. That's right, I said. I'll meet you after school. I'll be there, I said. Then he walked away, and I discovered two interesting things about myself. The first was that the idea of fighting terrified me, and the second was that in moments of extreme fear, my body produced ice-cold sweat. So I picked that moment because it shows both what he's saying on the outside versus what he's feeling on the inside. And I'm going to think through those two differences, the inside what he's feeling, the outside what he's saying and doing, to come up with my theory about the pressures that he's facing and how that's affecting him. So let's start with the inside, what the character's feeling. All I had was fear and pride. That was on page 2. He's describing how he's feeling about what he has going into the fight, and he's doubting himself and thinking he'll lose. Then he says, I had never felt so lonely or frightened in my life. Unlike in the last story, Will has a group of friends. So in popularity, he was fighting for friends, not physically, but just like having to scheme to get friends. Now he has friends, but his need to be tough is making him commit actions that leave him feeling scared and alone inside, even though outside he's exploring something different. My body produced ice cold sweat. That's on page 2. He's clearly uncomfortable with the idea of fighting and is having a physical response that shows this. What he's saying out loud and what he's feeling inside is completely different in this moment. So on the outside, this is what he's saying and doing. That's right, I'll be there. He's showing that he's ready to fight in that moment. Told him the next time Mike and I played basketball, I'd be throwing elbows. In this moment, he's talking to his friend Kevin, and he's acting tough, saying that he can take. Then he goes on and says, I know I can take him. In that moment, he's responding to his friend Kevin, doubting that he can win a fight with Mike. Will feels like he has to prove his toughness. So remember how we talked about in yesterday's session how the setting was kind of tough. Here we're seeing how because of that setting, he's facing a particular pressure to act in a way that showcases to all the rest of the kids in school that he is tough. Notice how nobody's stopping him. So this is something that does seem like is important in the school to show how tough you are in comparison to other kids.